Ever feel like you're just getting pulled in a million directions? Like you can't catch a break?
Oh, tell me about it.
What if there was a way to find some calm? Some unshakable calm no matter what's going on.
Sign me up.
Well, that's what we're diving into today. We've got this YouTube video, 10 Buddhist principles so that nothing can affect you. Bold claim, huh?
A little bit, yeah.
Straight from Buddhist teachings, it claims to have the answers.
Interesting. So it's not about being, like, totally emotionless?
No, not at all. It's more about, how we react to things, even when things get tough.
I can get behind that.
Okay, so first up is firm purposes.
Right.
It's not just about bouncing back from challenges. It's about having a guiding star, like a compass for life.
Makes sense.
The video uses this analogy of a map on a journey. If you know where you're going and why, detours and roadblocks don't seem so bad.
It's about the bigger picture.
Exact.
So having a purpose actually changes your everyday experience.
That's what they're saying. It's not just some vague idea. It's something you actively connect with.
Actively, okay.
Yeah. The video even suggests, reflecting on your purpose every morning.
Like a little check-in.
Yeah, a check-in. To remind yourself why you're doing what you're doing.
That's cool.
And they even throw in a quote from Buddha himself.
Oh, let's hear it.
Your work is to discover your work and then with all your heart to give yourself to it.
Wow. There's some real passion in that.
Right. It's not just what you do, but how you do it. Like bringing your whole self to it.
I like that.
So if you're doing that, it creates this natural inner stability.
Makes sense. So firm purpose is the foundation. But how do we stay calm when things go wrong?
Well, that's where principle number 2 comes in. Become untouchable.
Untouchable. Like a superhero.
Right, I know. But they don't mean literally untouchable.
Okay,
It's more about being untouchable by negativity,
I see.
by those external things that try to mess with our peace.
That makes more sense.
The video says no one can hurt you without your consent. Powerful, right?
Really powerful.
So it's not about ignoring problems, but choosing how we respond.
I'm liking this already.
Me too. And there's another Buddha quote here. This one really got to me. You will not be punished for your anger. You will be punished by your anger.
Oh, I've been there stewing in frustration and just making things worse.
Right.
But we can choose a different way, it's saying. We don't have to be ruled by our emotions.
Exactly. But how do we actually do that?
Yeah, how do you become untouchable?
Right. It sounds so simple in the video, but I bet it takes practice.
Big time.
The video suggests something as basic as taking a deep breath.
When you feel that anger.
Yeah, when you feel that surge. It's
Yeah.
about creating space between the thing that's happening and your reaction.
Oh, a little buffer zone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not to ignore your feelings, but to choose how you respond.
That leads perfectly into the next principle, insult and offense. Especially these days, it feels like everyone's ready to, jump on the negativity train.
It's so true. So how do we stay untouchable when someone's trying to provoke us?
Right. It's easy to say don't take it personally, but way harder to do.
Our instinct is to defend ourselves, fight back.
Totally. But the video has a pretty different take.
Okay, I'm listening.
They say we should see insults as opportunities, not attacks.
Whoa, that's a mind shift.
It is.
Yeah.
And they even quote Buddha on this one. Hatred does not cease by hatred, but only by love. This is the eternal rule.
Okay, that's a tough one. How do you respond with love to someone being hurtful?
Yeah, it's not about condoning bad behavior.
Right.
It's about recognizing that they might be hurting too. The video says try to see their struggle, even if you don't agree with what they did.
So it's about compassion, even for difficult people.
Exactly. It's about not letting their negativity in.
I see. Tying back to becoming untouchable.
It is. Choosing a response that doesn't add to the negativity.
And that leads right into the next principle.
Okay.
If someone speaks ill of you.
Ooh, that's a tricky one.
Right. Especially with social media and everything, rumors can spread like wildfire.
How do you even control that?
That's the thing. It's not about controlling the story. It's about controlling your response.
Okay.
And there's another Buddha quote, speak or act with an impure mind and trouble will follow you. What's interesting is they apply that to both the gossiper and the person they're talking about.
So negativity breeds negativity no matter what side you're on.
Exactly. We have to break free from that cycle. And the video says to let your actions speak louder than words.
So live with integrity.
Yeah. So that even if someone tries to mess with your reputation, your character shows through.
It's a long game.
It is.
Yeah.
Building trust and authenticity.
It's like that saying, live so that no one believes them when they speak badly of you.
Exactly. You're not fighting fire with fire. You're letting your own light, put out the flames.
I love that.
And this focus on inner strength brings us to the fifth principle, guarding your mind.
Oh, I like this one. The video talks about our mind being like a garden.
I was hoping you'd say that. You're such a gardener.
I am. So just like in a garden, you choose what to plant, what to nurture.
Right.
You have that same power over your thoughts. The video says negative thoughts can take over like weeds if we let them.
So we have to be mindful of what we're allowing to grow in our minds.
Exactly. Mindfulness is key here. It's noticing those thoughts, but not judging them.
Okay.
And then choosing whether to pay attention or let them go, like clouds.
This makes me think about all the time I spend scrolling online. All that negativity, it's so easy to get sucked in.
It really is.
Eh?
But the more you practice guarding your mind, the better you get at choosing what you let in.
You start to see those thought patterns that don't help you.
And make a change.
Wow, we've already covered 5 principles, and I feel like we've just scratched the surface.
I know, right? We've gone from defining our purpose to becoming untouchable, to guarding our minds.
It's like building a fortress of inner peace, brick by brick.
That's a great way to put it. And just wait, the next 5 go even deeper. We'll be exploring overcoming fear and shame, turning challenging people into teachers, establishing an ethical code, living in harmony with nature, and even, wait for it, weaponizing gratitude.
Whoa, this is a deep dive. I'm hooked.
You too.
Okay, so we're back and ready for more of these Buddhist principles. We've got 5 more to go from this video. 10 Buddhist principles so that nothing can affect you.
We've covered some good ground already. Firm purposes, untouchable, guarding your mind.
Right, but there's still so much to unpack. And this next one, it hits home for me. It's about overcoming fear and shame.
Ooh, those are big ones. Everyone struggles with those, I think, at some point.
It can be so heavy,
Yeah.
holding us back.
Absolutely. The video doesn't sugarcoat it either. It acknowledges how those feelings can really stop us from living fully.
I've totally been there, letting fear talk me out of things, new things, opportunities, things that felt risky.
It's so easy to get stuck there. But this principle, it's all about facing those fears head on.
Okay, but how?
By understanding where they come from. Like, what are we really afraid of? Failure, rejection, just the unknown.
It's different for everyone, I guess.
Right. But by bringing those fears out into the open, that's how we start to take away their power.
That makes sense. But what about shame? It feels so personal, like it's attacking who I am.
Shame is tough. It makes you want to disappear,
Mostly.
But the video offers a pretty powerful solution: living authentically. When we're true to ourselves, when our actions match our values, shame has less room to grow.
We're not looking for approval from outside so much.
Exactly. Because we have that inner compass guiding us. And it connects back to firm purposes, When you're solid in who you are, those feelings of not being good enough, they have less power.
I like that. It all ties together.
It does. And get this, they even quote Buddha on this. Even death is not to be feared by one who has lived wisely.
Intense, right?
A little bit, but I think I get it. If you're living a life that's true to you, what is there to be afraid of?
Exactly. It's not about avoiding fear. It's about inner peace. Okay, I can dig that. So what's next?
This one's interesting. It's called Transform Everyone into a Relentless Teacher.
Wait, everyone. Even like that guy who cuts me off in traffic every day.
You got it. It sounds crazy, I know. But it's not about, accepting bad behavior.
Okay, good.
It's about looking at things differently.
Yeah.
Every interaction, even the tough ones, can teach us something if we're open to it.
So the annoying coworker, the grumpy neighbor, they're all potential teachers.
Exactly. They might be showing us something we need to see about ourselves or the situation.
So it's about changing how we see things, not necessarily the other person.
Right. It's asking, what can I learn from this? Maybe it's a lesson in patience or boundaries or even just, wow, I don't want to be like that.
It's like that saying, when the student is ready, the teacher appears. But sometimes the teacher comes in disguise.
Exactly. It's about finding those growth opportunities in unexpected places. And this principle really emphasizes patience, not just accepting things, but actively staying calm and present, even when it's hard.
Patience is a muscle, right? The more we use it, the stronger it gets.
Absolutely. And that strength leads right into the next principle. Forge an unshakable ethical code.
Ooh, that sounds serious. Does this mean we need to become, saints or something?
No, not at all. It's about having a strong moral compass to guide our actions. They briefly mention the 5 precepts of Buddhism, like Not harming others, not stealing, not lying.
Okay, basic good stuff. So it's about living in a way that's good for everyone, ourselves and others.
Exactly. And they say it's not just about being good, it's about finding inner peace. When our actions and our values are aligned, we feel good.
If they're not aligned, it creates that conflict inside.
Totally. And on the flip side, when we live ethically, we build trust with others. People know we're trustworthy.
It's walking the talk, right? Actions speak louder than words.
Absolutely. Okay, ready for the next one. This one's a bit different. It's called living according to nature.
Does that mean we all need to go live in the woods?
I know, right? It sounds a bit out there. But it's not about literally living like animals. It's more about, aligning ourselves with nature's principles.
Okay, I'm listening.
Think about a river flowing or a tree bending in the wind. It's about acceptance, going with the flow, not resisting.
Letting go of control.
Yes, and there's a Buddha quote that fits perfectly here. Just as a snake sheds its skin, we must shed our past over and over again. It's about letting go of old stuff that doesn't serve us anymore.
I love that imagery.
It's powerful, right? We're always changing, always adapting. And that brings us to the final principle, weaponize gratitude.
Weaponize. That sounds a bit intense for something as nice as gratitude.
I know, right? But I think they use that word to show how powerful gratitude can be.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
It's about actively using gratitude to fight negativity, not just feeling thankful, but using it to change our perspective.
So like gratitude becomes a superpower.
Exactly. And what's really cool is they say true gratitude isn't about what's happening around us. It's about finding things to be grateful for, even when things are rough.
Looking for the good, even when it's hard.
Yes. And they even quote Buddha on this one. Let us rise up and be thankful, for if we didn't learn a lot today, at least we learned a little. There's always something to be grateful for.
Always. Okay, so we've covered all 10 principles, but now what? How do we actually use them in our lives?
That's the million-dollar question, right? And that's what we'll get into next.
Okay, so we've explored all these Buddhist principles, this whole idea of unshakable calm, 10 of them, right? From firm purposes all the way to weaponizing gratitude.
It's been quite a journey.
It really has. But I'm sure people are wondering, how do we actually do this stuff? Like, it's one thing to understand it, but how do you actually make these principles a part of your life?
Yeah, that's the challenge, right? Going from theory to practice.
Exactly. So the video doesn't really give a step-by-step, but it stresses that being consistent is key.
Makes sense. You're not going to master all 10 principles overnight.
No way. So maybe it's about picking one or two that really click with you and then working those into your routine.
Like forming a habit.
Yeah, habit. Start small.
Small steps. So like if you're always getting caught up in negative thoughts, you could focus on guarding your mind.
Right. Start noticing those thoughts and then make a choice, a conscious choice to focus on something good.
Exactly. Or if you're feeling a bit lost, you could go back to firm purposes. Remember what's important to you.
Get your bearings.
Yeah, exactly. Give yourself that inner compass.
And you know what's interesting? The video doesn't really talk about meditation.
Oh, you're right. But I bet that would be a really helpful tool here.
Totally. Meditation helps you become more aware of your thoughts and feelings, which is like essential for becoming untouchable or guarding your mind.
It's all about creating that space to just observe. You can see your reactions without judgment, and then you can actually make a different choice.
It's not about ignoring your feelings, it's about not letting them control you.
Exactly.
So as we wrap up, what really stuck with you? Like, which principle feels most relevant to your life right now?
That's a good question. I think for me, it's that reminder that we have a choice in how we react. It's not always easy, but we can choose calm over chaos, even when things get tough.
That's a great takeaway. And, you know, these principles, they give us a framework, but the real magic happens when we start putting them into practice.
That's where the real learning is.
It is. This deep dive, it's just the start. It's like a springboard for your own exploration.
Exactly. And the best part is these teachings, they're so adaptable, you can use them in any situation.
You can. So don't try to do everything at once. Start small, be kind to yourself, and see what happens. Maybe you'll find that unshakable calm is closer than you think. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.